First thing that goes on is we find out what time we're stepping at. Get all that once we have that and we figure out, it's on me, I decide on where I want to go. If we're going far away, sometimes I'll work it to where I have somebody in support of us. That way if we do run into any trouble, there's someone there, to back us up. Once I figure that out, I write up my pre-patrol report. It's a report that gets turned into my company. That company then sends it to battalion. It's our way of tracking who's out on patrol, when they're out on patrol, what patrols are coming up. Once that's done, I come back. We have a pre-patrol brief in which I brief all my guys on where our route, what we're supposed to be doing out there, whether it be census, security. First thing that goes on is we find out what time we're stepping at. Get all that once we have that and we figure out, it's on me, I decide on where I want to go. If we're going far away, sometimes I'll work it to where I have somebody in support of us. That way if we do run into any trouble, there's someone there, to back us up. Once I figure that out, I write up my pre-patrol report. It's a report that gets turned into my company. That company then sends it to battalion. It's our way of tracking who's out on patrol, when they're out on patrol, what patrols are coming up. Once that's done, I come back. We have a pre-patrol brief in which I brief all my guys on where our route, what we're supposed to be doing out there, whether it be census, security. Once that's done, pretty much we just hang out. I study our route and stuff and study 9 lines on. Once that's done, I take the points that I got from that debrief and my points that I had already. I go over to the COC and talk to our intel rep, pass him all the intel I have. That way, before we go on the next patrol, we can have all the updated info. We have our census patrols, which is what we've been doing quite a bit of. We're trying to find out who lives at each house, how many people live there. It works good for like the Census Bureau so they can find out how many people are in Afghanistan, but the main reason we do it is so we can know where each individual local stays, how many people are in our AO, because going off our maps and our GRGs, you can only tell so much. You can tell, hey, there looks like there's 3 houses here, but those 3 houses might all be one family. It might actually be one household. There might be a tiny little house that has 20 people living in it, and then a giant house that only has like 8. It's good for our intel. That way also, it helps us interact with the locals, get the names of the roads around here. So if we have a local call on a tip line about an IED on this road, we know what they call it. And or like if they spot some Taliban with a checkpoint, it makes it easier on us to find out where they're at. Yes, well, all patrols are security patrols. You're doing security when you do census. Usually we do a security patrol if we don't have a Terp going out with us that patrol, in which we'll move a little ways, we'll stop, set up a quick OP, doing a security halt, just observe, and then we'll move around. We'll interact with the locals best we can. Actually, quite a few of my guys, including myself, have learned a decent amount of Pashtun this year, to where we can at least, we can't really carry on like a long conversation or anything, but at least, we can say a few things to them. The main point when we took over Marjah was to take over key infrastructure. The bazaars are key infrastructure, some of the main city centers. Those are the places that Taliban wants to control because that's where the majority of the traffic in Marjah is. Everybody goes to the bazaar every day, whether they buy stuff or just hang out and talk to other locals. We've actually gotten intel saying that they're mad that we took over these hotspots and they want to try and take them back because they need to influence the people just like we do. And they're actually losing in that game. They're not doing as well as we are because, well, we're out more often and they run when they see us coming. So by going to the bazaar, anytime if there is some Taliban in the bazaar, we push them out. Sometimes they might try and stay in and interact, act like a local. That's always going to happen. But the main thing is just to show our presence in the bazaar, make the people feel safe. Checkpoints are to pretty much if anyone tries to smuggle anything into the bazaar, whether it be weapons, IDs, anything like that, we have the ANCOP there to run checkpoints. If we're going to do a sweep of the bazaar, we put Marines at those checkpoints also, just to give the Marines in the bazaar some added security. That way they know that whoever's up there on those checkpoints is doing their job fully, making sure no weapons, bombs come in, VBIDs, suicide bombers, anything of that sort. It's not that bad. Mostly our routes, they've picked up on some of our routes, so we constantly change our route and vary it to quit setting a pattern for ourselves. We've actually had them attempt to hit us with a couple IEDs, but failed. they've become successful in a 1 or 2. They've been successful with a few small arm ambushes. Mostly the IED threat is the biggest thing. Small arms, most of the time they shoot from far out. Occasionally they will shoot from up close. Usually when they shoot from far out, it's just a couple pop shots to get your head down and try and make you worry. The IED is probably the biggest threat that we have when we're out there. The reason why a weapons company has an AO, usually it's not common for a weapons company to take over an AO because we get pushed out. But one, in our platoon, we can operate both mounted and dismounted. We're exceptional at everything we do. And with Alpha Company having such a large AO, they weren't able to patrol the entire AO, so we took over part of their AO. We're actually, because they've seen what we've done in this AO, and we've pretty much locked this AO down, they're actually talking about expanding us, giving us more of Alpha's AO to operate in. It just breaks it up, that way one company's not trying to do more work than they need to.